It's officially time to start the wood and leather encasement for the blade, otherwise known as a sheath/scabbard. So I've done lots of practice. By lots, I mean like 2 days worth of practice stitching different types of stitch and messing around with leather wrapping and everything. Here's the first practice piece I did, and this was just to practice sewing a piece on the end of this wood and then doing something around this cylinder. Then I did some right here with some really nice thin black leather that I just picked up for the sheath. Tried a couple different types of stitching. Wasn't real happy with the way the stitching looked around the corner piece. Then I moved on to this one here. This was just using some of the skived off piece of leather that I got from the main piece that was on the inside. So that's why it's all rough. And this was just to practice getting it to match up to these curves that the sword's gonna have. It went okay, I guess. Then I did this one, which has the same kind of throat shape as the sheath will have, and then the tip. And again, I was just trying to see if I could get the leather to stretch and bend around this. And then yesterday, I spent all day working on this piece. I went ahead and used the official leather that I was gonna use on the sheath, just because it's really hard to kind of mark out this really rough leather and everything. So yeah, I wrapped this piece. It's lined on the inside, just like the sheath will be. The end of it's shaped the same as the sheath, and the tip is shaped. So basically, I made this little test piece to have all the same elements that the whole sheath will have, all condensed down into a little practice size piece. But I've got a couple different types of stitches going on here. I've got these one stitches that have little X's all over, and I really like the look of it, except it looks a little more piratey or something. Like if this was like some kind of pirate sword or more like a rough sword, I'd probably go with that. And then I've got another stitch over here that is more of just like a butt stitch. I like the way it looks more because it's just a little more refined or something, and I think it'll go with this sword better, so I think I'm gonna do that type of stitch. I also did one final practice piece here on my hammer. I put a little koozie on one of my favorite little hammers up here, and that was just to practice doing that butted up stitch again, spaced out a little bit further, because this one was really close together, and I think it actually looks better with a little bit larger stitch, so I went ahead and practiced it out on here. So after all that, spending a couple days just cutting leather and practicing and everything, which was a lot of fun, by the way, I now am ready to start working on the wood part of the scabbard, get the blade all carved out, the blade area, and we can start lining the thing and everything after I get all that done. So today's gonna be a woodworking day and possibly a tiny bit of leather once we get all the wood shaped.